Well, it's Arsenal taking on Chelsea at the Emirates on Sunday. And so Chelsea beat Leicester by 1-0, and Arsenal drew 1-0 with Manchester United. That is a big game to look out for. Let me start off with you, Susu, the conversation. Chelsea looking to chase Champions League football next season. Just quick thoughts on that performance against Leicester. It was very mundane. And coming up against a strikerless Arsenal.
Yeah, I think we should give credit to Leicester. They changed things around. They tried a three-at-the-back system. They tried to be a bit more solid defensively. I think it worked to a certain extent. They frustrated Chelsea a bit. But we also have to ask, is it that Chelsea have also not been in great form? I believe the last few games, the only wins they've managed are Southampton and Leicester.
Yeah.
It doesn't speak well of them.
And those are the two teams down there.
Yeah, it doesn't speak well of them for sure. And you have to ask yourself, I think Cole Palmer this is worst period of form since he joined Chelsea. Yeah. So we have to ask, is it that he's tired? Is it that he's figured out?
It's Palmer FC.
Is it that Enzo Maresca's tactics are not working? These are all questions we have to ask. But for me, the way I see it, it's going to be a tough game for them because I say it all the time. Their defense and their goalkeeper is not reliable, it's not good enough. And if you put it in a situation where you need to be solid, you need to keep clean sheets when your attack is not always there, because we've seen that when Nicholas Jackson is not playing, the attack just doesn't flow. They need Nicholas Jackson back badly. I think that's what we are seeing, that if Jackson is there, we'll see something more interesting.
I think he's returning early April or so.
So that's after the international break.
That's after the international break.
Okay, maybe international break will save them. Because
but Chelsea have a tough run of fixtures. I think they have the hardest run in.
I think if I remember correctly, their last 4 games are United, Forest, Liverpool, and
I think there's Everton too in there.
There was someone in there, someone difficult in there. So those last 4 games, if they've not picked up form and not got their points, they can easily get 2 points from those last 4 games. And it won't be a surprise. Looking at, I think the only one that maybe Liverpool have won, because Liverpool are out of the cups. They would have played their Carabao Cup final this weekend. They might feel to themselves by that time, who cares? So they might just show up with anybody and then Chelsea can get their points. But the rest of those games, if you are playing against teams who are also trying to get in that top 4, they are not going to like lie down for you. They are not going to make it easy for you. So for me, Chelsea really needs to figure things out with or without Jackson, because you can't tell me that if Nicholas Jackson doesn't play, the attack doesn't flow. So that's a problem they need to figure out. But on the Arsenal side, Arsenal can score goals. They are not as fluid. They are not as potent as we've seen them. But they are difficult to break down. And there's the set pieces. And I think Chelsea, their disorganization at the back, it extends to set pieces. So if you have Arsenal, who we all know are so dangerous on set pieces, we know what Declan Rice can do. Odegaard is not as good as Bukayo Saka, but if Declan Rice is playing, you know he can whip the ball in from various angles. They have the height. They have the organization. It could be the type of match where Arsenal don't do anything, but they get a free kick, they get a corner,
and they win.
And they win it 2-0. So I think for Chelsea, this is going to be a very difficult match. I don't think this matchup favors them, because the things that make Arsenal so good, their organization, being difficult to break down, they can't even attempt to do those things with the type of attack they have. And then the things that they struggle with, them being defensively, they are not compact. There's a lot of mistakes, because they might even have a great game, and then in the 90th minute, Jorgensen or Sanchez, whoever is now number 1, does something crazy.
I like the fact that you say whoever is now number 1.
Truly,
because the last game we saw Sanchez play. When before that, Maresca said that he was sticking with Jorgensen. So I don't know what happened.
I don't know that he tosses a coin or something and then.
But you see, you can't be changing and just toying around
the
with
center backs
your center backs and your goalkeeper.
You don't even know. Look, and I keep saying this. Levi Colwill, if he wasn't from Cobham, I don't think he'd be playing for Chelsea. Seriously. Because can you imagine?
You've actually a year or 2 ago, he was a hot prospect. I remember Liverpool were looking.
Because he was at Bright. You see, he was at Bright. The lights weren't bright.
This is one player who actually said a lot of the Chelsea insiders said that he was going to be the next John Terry.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Those were the stories.
And that's why I'm surprised by how bad he is.
I understand when Susu keeps on saying that. Look, he's been very bad, because I'm disappointed with the kind of performance.
And you're right. He was very highly rated. He went to Bright. I think maybe the lights weren't as bright sometimes. It's easier to perform. You come into a team now, there's a lot more scrutiny. Week in, week out, people are thinking about your performance. And then you're giving him the armband.
I think the armband is also just tossed
but-
up and
and
down.
truth be told-
I
and
mean,
truth be
half the
told-
team has won it this
Yeah,
season, if you
And
ask
truth
me.
be told, it's very different when you are playing with a more experienced player like Lewis Dunk,
Yeah.
and he's telling you what to do. Now you are in charge, and you're the one telling people what to do. It changes the dynamic of your
When
defense.
you,
Okay.
you yourself are
Are
used to
not-
being told what to do.
And when you're not that experienced. So I
Yeah.
think all of those things are playing a part in it. And for me, like I said, he makes too many mistakes. Like every time I watch him, it's like he misplaces a pass.
You're just waiting for
he gets
when.
dribble, he gives away a penalty.
It's a matter of when.
It's and a defender like that is just that's the worst type of defender
Yeah.
because you do. And if you remember, even David Luiz, even at someone who we used to complain about, David
Yeah.
Luiz had some games that you're like, wow,
Yeah, he steps
this
up.
is
Yeah,
a
he
defender.
steps up, yeah.
I can't think of a game where I've seen Levi Colwill step up and I'm like, wow, this guy can defend. Like, this guy is a rock at the back.
Yeah.
Because David Luiz, he had his moments.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you remember, even when Conte was coach, then he got into the PFA team
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
season and that kind of stuff. I just struggle with Levi Colwill. I think maybe it's the inexperience. Maybe he needs an experienced centre back next to him. Maybe Chelsea should
To learn
stop
from, yeah.
buying under 23 players exclusively.
it doesn't look
Maybe
like
they should
they'll
find a
stop.
28-year-old centre back who can come in, say, hey, relax, teach him how to defend.
Yeah.
And maybe he will look a lot better. Maybe that's what he needs.
No, but talk to me about Arsenal more. What's happened to them? I say this because now I don't know if the set piece magic they used to rely on. I'm saying this because in moments this is actually the time where I thought that Arsenal rely on that magic. Looking at the fact that they don't have a proper centre forward to rely on, but that has dried up. Struggling with injuries to players. I mean the strikers to step up to rely on. They are not there.
Sorry,
And
let
Arteta
me, just,
himself.
let me just step in. This one is because Saka is not there. We see Saka's delivery.
So you're saying it's the delivery?
The delivery you
So it's the delivery.
When Saka's
It's the delivery.
Yeah, Saka's delivery was pinpoint.
Okay.
It was
No, but
landing.
see,
it was landing.
about the
ri-
corners?
No,
Yeah,
but
it
what I
was
do remember
landing
was-
right on Gabriel's head.
Yeah.
No, but
You know, Odegaard.
No.
Let's be honest. We've seen Odegaard. We've seen Nawanieri. The delivery is not the same.
But
Well,
you see,
I think
what
I
I do
agree.
remember was
Odegaard
that
actually
Declan Rice
likes
was
the-
taking
the
it on one
outs-
side,
outswingers,
Yeah.
and then Saka was taking it on another side. So you still have one side effectively giving you
But
some
look
solid
at,
balls.
but he still got a lot more assists. Saka was still getting more assists than Declan Rice, even though Rice was getting some assists.
Yeah.
Saka was still getting
I think Saka
more.
has
Yeah.
10. He's
Yeah.
even though nobody has gone past him, he's still stuck on 10.
In that Arsenal team.
Yeah.
In-
No, in
even
the league
even
in
the league,
general,
okay.
he has,
I
I
think
think,
in the-
10. The
in-
next person is
he's second in the
Damsgaard,
yeah.
and
Yeah, I
then,
think he's still
somebody
second
else.
in the
I
Premier
think
League.
Antoine
Yeah.
Robinson from Fulham.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even though he's been out for I think over a month or two,
Yeah.
so for me, I do think Arsenal the goal scoring problem was bound to happen, and just as we've said this over and over again, Arsenal have about 6 left backs. We can go through the list. There's Zinchenko,
Yeah.
Lewis Kelly plays there, Timber can play there,
Calafiori,
Calafiori
Calafiori
plays
can
there,
play.
Tierney is also there. So
Tomiyasu.
Tomiyasu, that's 6. And then you ask yourself, you went into the transfer window, went to buy Merino. Now
You've been seeing Kiwo play there. Just for added
there's
emphasis.
Jorginho on the bench who barely plays now. And you have all these centre backs. You'd have thought that some of that money would have been invested in some forward players because clearly Kai Havertz gave you some numbers. But judging from 2 or 3 seasons ago, Martinelli's numbers had started coming down. And you needed someone to back up Saka because in as much as he had played for a very long period without missing games, eventually it was going to tell on him because now he was playing games, there's Champions League and all that. And now he gets injured and there's no proper replacement for him. Because if you ask me, that Sterling signing was so unnecessary.
From what we are hearing, it's Sterling who pushed for the signing. That he wanted to leave Chelsea so badly,
Yeah.
and he thought that Arsenal
And
would be a
he
good
wanted to
place.
stay in the Premier League too.
And Arsenal
And
would be a
also
good
wanted to
place.
stay in
Those were the
London.
reports.
That might be it. That he thought Arsenal would be a good place
if
for
you're
him.
a team who
Pick
have
one
big
ball.
prospects, you don't go in for a Sterling. So, in as much as they are not conceding, the goal scoring has not been as fluid as it used to be.
Yeah.
It's like now they struggle to score,
Yeah.
and the reliance on set pieces, teams are beginning to kind of figure it out a bit. So it's a bit more difficult. Yeah. In addition to the delivery not being as crisp as Saka gives it. So for me, Chelsea can't score. Arsenal know how to defend. They're still the best defense in the league. They've considered 23. The next person is 27. That's
Yeah.
Liverpool. So with Chelsea's inability to score and Arsenal knowing how to defend very well, I don't think they might score a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, they've shown that they can score 7, but that's PSV. I expect Chelsea to be way better than that. So,
Are you sure?
oh yeah, way better than that. And Arsenal at home too, they seem to be quite good. So I expect Arsenal to win narrowly, but I don't
A
expect
1-0,
it to be
2-1 stuff.
Yeah, no, Chelsea are not going to score. They are not going to score.
Ale, someone here will not be happy.
No,
You
no,
won't be happy.
No, but we all know Chelsea are
No,
not going
yeah.
to. No, where's
Someone
the
here
goal?
will not be
Where's it
happy.
come from?
Well, I mean, it could come from anywhere.
Their last 4 games, as Susu mentioned, you beat Southampton 4-0.
Yeah.
Literally everybody beat Southampton, and then you beat Leicester 1-0, and even
Then
that was at home, and it
Copenhagen-
was a struggle.
Then
To be honest,
Copenhagen
to be
win
fair, Chelsea's last few goals have come from. So Marc Cucurella, you can count him. Pedro Neto.
He's hot and cool. You
Yes,
don't know how
he's hot
he's going
and cool,
to turn
so
up
yeah.
at Arsenal.
So Arsenal to win for you.
Oh yeah, I think it's Arsenal.
So Arsenal to win.
I think I would rather say Arsenal to not lose.
Oh,
Because they can easily play a 0-0 because they just can't figure it out.
If it's Sanchez in post, they'll find a goal. I mean, they'll find a goal.
well,
And I have to say Martinelli is coming back, so at least there's a bit something small.
I mean, he was
to rely on.
performed even before he went on
But
injury,
you see,
so I don't
I
expect
think,
much
I
from
think
him.
the difference is
Quick one, you
now
have to go
if
for a break.
you go from having to play Merino, Trossard, and Iwaneri to now maybe you can have Martinelli, Trossard, and Iwaneri.
That's
the
better.
level has gone up a bit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you've gone from.
yeah, but it's
It's a slight
bit- it's a slight
improvement.
improvement on.
And he does have a good record against top 16 Martinelli actually. Funnily enough, the big games you see him here and there he gets a goal. I think he scored against Chelsea last
season,
time.
yeah.
So
Well, that's the guys' predictions. I don't know what you think, especially with the Chelsea fans. I'm sure some of the analysis from Jay in particular, will not be too happy with that.
They know.
And the game would be on radio, but we'll be outside. Yeah, we'll be somewhere. I'll tell you where we'll be, so you can join us just in case. After church, for me, I'll be in church. I'd have to go and do some ushering duties. When I come back, then I would head to the place. I'll tell you where we'll be on Sunday.